Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. October 4th, 2025. Another edition of the North American Sports Report. We're still having some troubles with our page, but we will get it worked out. We got some new equipment. We're having a little trouble with the audio, so we had to go back to Facebook Live. We'll upload all this stuff to the YouTube channel and everything as soon as we're done with our show today. First of all, we have to start the show off with the amazing performance by Cam Schlittler, I always say that name carefully, of the New York Yankees, who went 8 innings on Thursday night, 12 strikeouts, guys throwing between 98 and 100 miles an hour on every pitch. I mean, he was just outstanding. And you know what? As much as we killed Aaron Boone for his mishaps in game one. And I heard from a lot of you guys. I got a lot of messages from people, and they were saying, Billy, what about them having the bases loaded? It's not Aaron Boone's fault that they can't get a run across with the bases loaded and nobody out. And I get that. But, hasn't that been the Yankees' MO of moving runners over and hitting with guys in scoring position? So if you got a 1-run lead and you can nurse that thing, even if it ended up being 1-1, you needed to let Fried go at least 7, if not 7 2/3, like the Sox did with Crochet. And you probably only wanted to use your bullpen for about 4-5 outs max in that first game. And that's where Boone messed up. But if you want to give him a lot of crap for messing up game one, you got to give him props for 2 and 3, because he managed great the last 2 games, especially when Rodon was tired in game 2, and he came out there. But Rodon said, I've got a little left. I can get through this. And he trusted his pitcher, and he left him out there. And Rodon got through 6. He mixed it up. He got Rice and Chisholm in the lineup. And, he didn't just go with his analytic book. He used his gut a little bit. He trusted in Rodon, left him out there. And then in game 3, he left that kid out there in 8 innings. He didn't go to his book and say, okay, well, he's thrown this many pitches. He knew the kid was smoking hot, and he rode it. And that's what you're supposed to do. You got to use your gut as a manager. So as much as we gave Boone a lot of flack for his game 1 moves, you got to give him credit for bouncing back. And, of course, his team had his back. And the Yankees move on. We're going to give you all the start times today. The Reds will play at Milwaukee today at 2:05. The Yankees at 4:08 is first pitch at Toronto. Yeel will start for the Yanks. Gausman for the Jays. The Dodgers, who made short work of the Reds, sweeping them in 2 games, which was the only sweep in the first round. They will play the Phillies. I'm hearing Ohtani is going to pitch for the Dodgers, as they do not have an official pitcher listed. Sanchez for the Phils. That's a 6:38 first pitch. And the Tigers, who dispersed of the Guardians, will be in Seattle playing the Mariners. Melton for the Tigers, Kirby for the Mariners. That game is at 8:40 first pitch. That's the late game, the latest game. The Dodger lineup looks pretty fierce. It really does. But I'll tell you what, their bullpen is not great. Every game is an adventure after they get to the 7th and 8th innings. That's a weakness for the Dodgers. They're a little more vulnerable than they have been in the past. But anyway, that's your baseball. We got to get to college football. Exciting for the Yanks now that they have Schlittler on the mound. Now the Yankees for so many years have had one big-time starter, and then you kind of say your prayers for 2, 3, 4, and even 5. But now, God, imagine if Cole was healthy. But now, with Rodon having a good year, Fried, and Schlittler, the Yankees are probably stronger in their starting rotation than they have been in years, although a little weaker in their bullpen. But we shall see. I know a lot of the locals here are excited for Yankee first pitch. Again, that's 4:08. Yanks at Toronto. Yeel versus Gausman, 4:08. Okay, we're going to move to college football. We got a big college football day today. Big college football day. The game of the day is tonight, 7:30, the Miami Hurricanes at Florida State. Number 3, Miami at 4-0, playing the 3-1 18th ranked Seminoles. This is a game where if you looked at it on paper, if they played in a neutral site, you would think Miami would win no problem. But it's always tough to win up in Tallahassee, Doak Campbell Stadium. It's going to be a raucous environment. A lot of the Cane freshmen have never even played a road game because the first 4 Miami games were all at home. Carson Beck is a veteran. He's been through it with Georgia. But one thing I will say, and one of my concerns is Carson Beck never was fantastic on the road. He had a great team in Georgia. He won a lot of games. But if you look at him statistically, he was way better at home than he was on the road. That concerns me a little bit if you're favoring the U side. If you're favoring the Florida State side, you come off a loss, you're licking your chops, your arch rivals coming to town and you're home. I have a feeling, though, that Corey Weatherman, defensive coordinator from Miami, will have a plan for Castellanos, that very mobile and dangerous quarterback. But you keep him in the pocket, he's not as dangerous as a thrower as he is when he can utilize his legs. That game is at 7:30 tonight. Miami at Florida State. What else we got today? Kentucky at Georgia. Kentucky at Georgia at noon. Georgia is a 19.5-point favorite. Iowa State at Cincinnati. Cincinnati is -1.5, 14th ranked Ohio State. Also at noon. Wisconsin at Michigan. Michigan is a 17.5-point choice. Clemson at North Carolina. Wow, talk about two teams that are struggling mightily. Boy, oh boy. Clemson is a 14.5-point choice on the road against North Carolina. Both these teams they're looking for answers. Boston College at Pitt. Pitt is -6.5. Ohio, University of Ohio at Ball State. That's nothing special. That's at noon. Number 22, Illinois at Purdue. Illinois -7.5. Also at noon. Kansas State at Baylor. Baylor -4.5. Army UAB at noon. Army is -6.5. UTSA at Temple. Texas San Antonio is -6.5. Wake Forest at Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech is home -6.5. What else do we have here? Okie State at Arizona at 3. Arizona is -20.5. Oregon State at App State. App State actually favored over Oregon State. How that program has fallen, -1.5. Number 24, Virginia at 4-1. At 4-0, Louisville. Louisville -6.5. That's a good game. That's at 3:30 first kick. Washington -5.5 at Maryland. Central Michigan -7.5 at Akron. Eastern Michigan at Buffalo. Buffalo -9.5. What else do we have? Penn State, 7th ranked at UCLA. UCLA 0-4. What a disaster that program is. Penn State is -24.5. Texas at Florida. Texas is -5.5. Florida's got a good defense. Don't snooze on them. Here's another marquee game of the day. Undefeated Vanderbilt Commodores, who beat Alabama last year, remember. Alabama is -11.5 at home over Vanderbilt. Syracuse travels to SMU. SMU -17.5. Again, Syracuse has lost their starting quarterback, Angelini, for the year, unfortunately. Boise State at Notre Dame. Wow, Notre Dame is favored by 3 touchdowns against Boise at home. They're in Ann Arbor. Michigan State at Nebraska. Nebraska is -12.5. Oklahoma in a beat-up game plays Kent State. That's a 45.5-point spread. That's no interest in that. What else do we have here? Florida Atlantic at Rice. Rice is -4.5. Here's another great game. At 7 p.m., Texas Tech is ranked at 11 at 4-0. Travels to Houston to play the Cougars, and the Red Raiders are a 12.5-point choice. Kansas at UCF. Kansas -4. Both teams with 3 wins. Minnesota at Ohio State. Ohio State is -23.5. 4-0 versus 3-1 Minnesota. We gave you plenty of chatter on the Canes, Florida State. That line has now moved from Miami -6.5, which it was at the beginning of the week. It is now Miami 4.5. That's got to make you worry if you're on the Canes betting side. I liked it better when it was larger. It encourages people to bet Florida State. Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes are at TCU. TCU is -13.5. This is also a 7:30 game. Also at 7:30, Mississippi State is at Texas A&M. The 6th-ranked Aggies are a 16.5-point choice. Tulsa at undefeated Memphis. Memphis is a 21-point favorite at Tulsa. I'm sorry, that game is at Memphis at the Liberty Bowl. Duke at California. Duke is a 2.5-point choice. 3-2 Duke at 4-1 Cal at Cal. Nevada at Fresno State. Fresno State is a 13.5-point choice. Sam Houston, last night, some results from last night. New Mexico State defeated hapless Sam Houston, who is 0-5, 37-10. South Florida with an easy cakewalk through Charlotte, 54-26. Also, Western Kentucky beat Delaware 27-24. Those weren't really must-see TV games, kids. San Jose State, 35. New Mexico, 28. San Diego State over Colorado State, 45-24. And BYU, and probably the best game of the night, defeated West Virginia 38-24. Although West Virginia was a 19.5-point dog, they did cover that spread. So some great games today. The Alabama Vanderbilt at Alabama, Texas Tech at Houston, and obviously the Florida State Miami game tonight are the highlights. Boise State Notre Dame is pretty good. Those are probably the 4 best games on the board. Virginia Louisville is pretty good. A battle of 4-win teams. That's a pretty good one. That one is also at 3:30. What else? Anything else juicy? Those are pretty much the games, guys, that are going to be Wisconsin, Michigan at noon, but you would think Michigan is going to roll there. And Georgia, Kentucky. You would think Georgia's going to roll there as well. So I got a few picks for you, kids. We are 12-7-1 in college this year. We've been pretty good. Our pro picks have kind of gone south lately. We started off 12-5. We are now 18-15 on the season. Only 6-10 the last 2 weeks. Probably picking a few too many games every week. We're going to try to scale this down and improve the focus. We started off 12-5 red hot, but we had some, you talk about always being cautious when you gamble, and nothing's a sure thing. Some of the losses that we have incurred in the last couple of weeks were mind-boggling, honestly. How the Packers, I gave you guys 2 Packer teases that should have came in if the Packers could just win the game by 2 points. That their mismanagement of the time clock on that last drive was just, it was ridiculous. I don't know what the hell Love and the Packers head coach, whose name's escaping me at the moment, were thinking, but they had plenty of time to punch that in for a touchdown. They just ruined. I don't want to use poor language here. They just threw that away. LaFleur and Love, they're not on the same page. They had 3 timeouts, and they had all the time in the world to get that ball in the end zone, and they were playing it like they had 1 timeout left. I think they took 2 timeouts with them at the end of the game. But I had that game I lost. I lost that Ram Eagle game on a blocked field goal touchdown return. And then I did give you the Dolphins Broncos in a tease on Monday for a winner. But I also gave you the Rams in a tease on Thursday night. And who would have thought the Niners, with their entire team missing pretty much on offense, 3 starting receivers, starting tight end, starting quarterback, and on defense, your best rush end is out for the year. They're missing 6 key players, and they controlled that game. I know the game ended up being close, but, Mac Jones is making people think, do we have the right quarterback starting in Frisco? Because he looked like freaking Joe Montana. The other thing is, too, if you're the Rams, your running back room, those guys drop more passes, they fumble more balls, drop more passes. The Rams gave that game away. They were driving up and down the field and just making unforced. Well, the Kyron Williams fumble at the goal line was not unforced. That was a great play by the Niners, a great punch-out strip. But you really have to, you got to do a better job than that if you're the Rams. You got to take care of the ball. So the Rams now are 3-2, and the Niners are 4-1. They just got one of the tough games out of the way on their schedule, and they have an easy ride. Their schedule's not tough. They've already beaten Seattle and the Rams in their division. Today. It's not a lot that really sticks out for me today. I have a teaser that I've got my eye on today. I am not touching Clemson anymore. I am going to tease Michigan from 17.5 down to 11.5, and Pittsburgh from 6.5 down to -0.5. So the Pitt Panthers and the Michigan Wolverines in a 2-team tease is my college pick today. We are also going to take, I'm not touching that Florida State-Miami game. Not touching that game. We are also, you know what? You would think that not touching Virginia either after their emotional game that they just played. We are also going to tease Penn State and Texas. Penn State down to -18.5. They're going to roll over hapless UCLA. And Texas goes from -5.5 to +0.5 at Florida. That's what we're doing today. We're teasing Texas, Penn State, and we are teasing, what was the other one? I should write this freaking stuff down. We are teasing the Pitt game and the Michigan game. So Pitt and Michigan is the other play. Those are our two college plays for today, two-team teasers. Pitt, Michigan, and Penn State, Texas. That's how we're rolling today. Those are our two college plays for the day. We're going to have a full NFL show tomorrow morning. Hopefully we'll have the YouTube page back up and running corrected. We're having an audio issue where, listen, we have the new studio backdrop and we're trying to make this thing really cool. But, like I said, we have had some technical hurdles that we're trying to figure out. I have an assistant who is my daughter who sets all this stuff up and runs this stuff for me. And she pretty much taught me how to do it all. But sometimes we change some of the components and I guess I'm just not that tech savvy sometimes because we had some issues and I couldn't figure them out. And obviously it's early in the morning and, these guys work all week. I don't want to wake them up early, but I'm about to get my tail to work right now. So I hope you enjoyed the show this morning. We gave you two college teasers. We went through all the college games. We went through the Yankee recap, and we'll have a full NFL Sunday show, and we'll go over the MLB results tomorrow morning. So thank you for watching the show. Make sure you always go to our North American Sportsbook Facebook and like and follow. You can go to our North American Sports Report YouTube channel and please subscribe so you can follow us. You go on there, there's QR codes. You could donate to the program. It does take us some time and cost to keep this thing going. The QR code has got links to Cash App and Venmo. Anyway, we appreciate you guys watching. Lots of you have been coming and tuning in and getting on board. And again, remember, always gamble responsibly. Don't take my picks as law. We try to give you an educated opinion on the sports world and what's going on with it. But as I always say, do all things in moderation. All things in moderation and with responsibility. We give you these picks. We don't want you to bet your mortgage on them. We want you to have a little fun with them. DraftKings and FanDuel, we fully endorse, and all things in moderation, kids. Thanks for watching. You guys have a great day, and we'll see you Sunday morning. So, you know what, also, too, some of my call tags, my brother the other day, he says, you got to stop calling everybody kids. Kids this, kids that. So, guys, folks. Maybe we'll switch that up a little. Again, I've been getting your emails and texts and input on the show, which I appreciate. I did have one guy basically calling me an idiot for blaming Aaron Boone for the game one thing, but most of the people I listen to in the sports world pretty much had the same take on Aaron Boone. But yeah, I'm always appreciate the input, both positive and negative. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow morning for the big NFL show and MLB recap. Thanks, guys.